right now. There we go. Okay, so you folks somehow found out, this is our Wednesday Mortgage Coach Black Belt call. So you probably, I don't know how you heard about it, but if you come over here to our calendar of events, we offer training and several workshops on a daily basis. And this is the call that we're on right now, the Mortgage Coach Black Belt training. We do have a Thursday QA training for those of you that have specific questions that you'd like to ask a trainer. And then every Monday, for those of you that are new to Mortgage Coach, there's an intro workshop and take you from step one all the way through to building your very first total cost analysis presentation. So today's workshop, what's the game plan? How can we help you with Mortgage Coach? How can we help you become more successful as a mortgage professional utilizing the technology that you have access to? So the purpose of this call is to share with you different strategies that you can utilize to help you connect with your clients, help you differentiate yourself from your competition, and help you work faster, be able to accomplish more in a shorter amount of time. Let's face it, as a mortgage professional, time is very valuable to you, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a couple examples as to, what is a mortgage coach strategy so that you can see the picture of how that can help you. So I'm going to come right over here and let's see here. It used to be called actually Black Belt training. And I think it's right here, the total cost analysis now. Nope, that's not it. Let's see here. Is it in resources? Top producer insights. That's what it's called. Change the verbiage on it, kind of keep me on my toes. Okay, so these are different strategies that mortgage professionals are using based upon the type of clients that they're speaking to. And what I mean by type of clients, okay? People that are looking to refinance their mortgage, people that are first-time home buyers, people that are purchasing a home, different types of strategies and different strategies that can be used with different market conditions. Like right now, what's going on in the market? Appraisal gap, that's a very popular strategy. How do you help somebody accomplish buying a home after they've written an offer substantially over the list price and the appraisal isn't even coming in close to maybe even the list price? So how do you help somebody and how do you paint that picture for them using a mortgage coach presentation? I'm going to go ahead and pick a couple strategies or pick a strategy here just to kind of give you an idea. Let's go up here at the top. It's always easy to go with one of these. How to turn refis to your listing agents. And this is from Amber Kavarik. Now, the benefit of using this particular resource on our website is that you're not only going to get to see an example of what the presentation looks like. You can see here Amber's move up TCA. You get an example of the actual TCA that they used, but you get the interview that our CEO Dave Savage did with them. And in that interview, Dave asked them to share the scripting that they use. So the reason that I'm bring that point up is that with Mortgage Coach, you're going to be using the presentation to paint a picture for your client, right? They're going to be just like you would be looking at a picture on a wall. They're going to see that picture, but you as a mortgage professional want to tell the story and cover the important details as to what they should be looking at in that particular picture. So that's where the scripting comes into play. How do they describe the picture that they painted for their client? And I'm not saying that you have to use their scripting verbatim, but it at least gives you an idea as to the main points that you would want to cover based upon that picture that you're painting, so that you can have a similar experience and similar success that Amber's having. So let me real quickly, I'll show you what this particular presentation looks like. So you can see that she's with Guild, and this particular strategy is that what Amber found is she had clients that are reaching out to them to potentially refinance their mortgage, right? And hopefully right now you're still, your phone's still ringing, you're still having conversations with your clients about refinance opportunities. But what she did is she incorporated one additional question into her discovery interview with her clients. And that question was basically, how does your current home, your home that you're living in right now, fit your lifestyle? How does it fit your needs? And what she found out is that at this particular time when she was doing this, this is when rates were really, really low, is that people were responding, 1 out of 5 people, 20%, were responding with their current home is not meeting their current lifestyle needs. And this was a really, really popular strategy during, COVID, when everybody was, in their homes and really experiencing how small their home may be. And they're fighting with somebody else for the office space now because, 2 people are working from home, or they're spending more time at home and they're seeing that, with their family growing, there's just not enough space. Or maybe the opposite. People were experiencing that, I don't really need this big place. It's be great to downsize. So what she did when she incorporated that into her discovery interview with her clients is she found out, okay, give them what you want, right? This is what the picture, remember I said a mortgage coach strategy is like a picture on the wall. You're painting that picture and now you're telling the story behind that picture. So giving them what they want. Okay, here's your current loan. You can see all the details of this particular borrower's current loan. And then this is what it would look like if you were to refinance. Rates are great. Your timing is awesome. You can reduce your rate down to 2.875%. That's going to put an extra $322.10 in your pocket and save you a lot of money in interest over the life of your loan. But because she asked that additional question, she was able to also paint the picture for them and get them to visualize and see, well, if you were to sell your existing home and purchase that larger home, 525,000, you could see that their current home was worth 436. They're going up almost $100,000 in price point. Well, what does that mean for them? Is it the extra bedroom, the extra bathroom, the home with the swimming pool in the backyard, the home in the better school district, whatever lifestyle event that's going to help them accomplish? What is the impact on their monthly payment? So you could see here in this particular case, their payment was actually going to increase $507. Let me tell you why. There's an extra step in there that she did. What she found out for this particular client was they were more comfortable with only putting 5% down rather than putting all of the proceeds from the sale of their current home towards the new mortgage. And the reason that they felt more comfortable placing only 5% down is they wanted to sleep better at night, knowing that they have money in reserve. So what Amber did is she painted the picture for them over here as to, okay, let's put 5% down, put the remainder into an investment account that is rate of return 6%. How much money will that give you, say, in 15 years? So you can see here, it's going to allow them to have over, let's see here, their net worth is going to increase to over 900,000, almost $950,000 utilizing that strategy. And the main point was that, they felt like they would be able to sleep better at night, payments comfortable, even though it's increasing $500, but I know that I have that money in reserves. I can sleep better at night. And then she painted the picture over here is that, if at any point you do decide to put some additional money down, we can do a recast for you. And by putting the additional money down, the 125K that she indicated here with this particular product, how will that affect your monthly payment? Well, you can see it's actually going to save them money over what they're currently paying for their existing loan. So it's a strategy. It's a move up buyer strategy, and she's utilizing it in her discovery interview with her clients that are looking out for refinance opportunities. And the benefit, of course, is that she's able to differentiate herself from the competition by painting a different picture, not just giving them, here's your rate and your fees, this is what it would look like. And then if in fact they do decide to go ahead and utilize that strategy, she now has a referral that she could give back to maybe the listing or the agent that helped them get into that house, or maybe one of her referral partners. And that realtor that she's going to refer this client to has the opportunity to potentially earn 2 commissions, right? Because these people have to sell their existing home. There's commission 1, and then they have to buy that move up property, commission 2. So it's definitely a win for Amber's value proposition in working with their clients, but it's also a win for the realtor partners that Amber has in sharing this client. And this is a good strategy too, by the way, that you can utilize with your realtor partners to help them look at their existing database of clients that they've served that may be looking to in fact move up at this point because they have a substantial amount of equity in their home right now. So asking the right questions and presenting the right strategy, painting that picture for both the realtor and the borrower to see could be huge for you folks in generating business for everybody. It's a win-win-win. So that's called the move up buyer strategy, move up buyer strategy. So what I'm going to do right now, folks, is I think everybody now has an idea of what a particular strategy is, and there's a lot of different strategies. The important thing is that you recognize the type of conversations that you're having with your clients and what's going on in your particular market, and then create these strategies in your mortgage coach account so that you could share them, have them, I guess you could say, teed up, ready to go, so that when the opportunity presents itself, that you're having a conversation with a realtor or a potential buyer or somebody looking to refinance, you've got that presentation teed up, it's ready to go. And without a lot of work on your behalf, you're able to provide that client with the picture that you want to share with them, the strategy that you want to share with them. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a poll that I would like you folks to go ahead and respond to, so that I can understand, what strategies are going to be the most beneficial for you folks to cover in this workshop that you've chosen to invest your time with. So I am just launching it right now. The faster that you get through that, the faster that we get to the content that you folks want. So this is your opportunity to choose the strategies that you would like to see in this particular presentation. So first question is a little bit, helps me understand, where you're at with your mortgage coach knowledge, how many presentations that you built. Second question is, which strategies would you like me to cover with you? Again, based upon the type of conversations you're having with your clients and the market conditions that you're experiencing in your area. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to complete that. Again, the faster you do it, the faster we get to covering the strategies. My goal is to cover 5, 6, 7 strategies at least during the time that we're here together. So we've already covered the move up strategy, talking about, this discovery interview with your refinance opportunities and painting that picture for them. So I'll give you folks an opportunity to knock that out real quick. I'm going to pop off camera here and just get a real quick drink of water and give you guys an opportunity to finish that. All right, let's go ahead and go. I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. I'm going to take a quick look here and see where everybody's at. Okay, so we have a brown belt on the call. Awesome. Is that you, Tom, with Synergy? Are you the brown belt that's completed over 100 presentations? For some reason, your name sounds familiar. And then the rest of the folks are white belts, completely fine. Always good to work with people that are new to mortgage coach. Okay, so let's take a look at the presentations that you are most interested in. It's kind of all across the board here. Wow. I guess this one really hit cash out refis. Everybody's looking for cash out refis. And I can understand that. I mean, people are in a condition right now, or the market is in a position where people have equity, right? So there's 2 strategies that I think that you want to be very familiar with when you're helping somebody with a cash out refinance. So I'm going to share those 2 strategies. Let me just take a quick look here so I can get everything teed up in my mind as to which strategies are most important for you and make sure we knock those out. Cost of waiting's in there. That's a good purchase one. Kind of across the board here. On a rent versus own. Okay. I think I got to put some more choices in there too. Okay. All right, so let's start knocking these out. Let me go ahead and close this one. And again, this is located for you folks. Go into resources and it's top producer insights. That's kind of an unusual name. I like the black belt training myself personally, but top producer insights. And then one other thing, because there are newer people on the call, newer people to Mortgage Coach. This is really cool. Very excited about it. On-demand training. So if you haven't seen this yet, and for those of you, and even if you have built a lot of Mortgage Coach presentations, maybe there's somebody in your office that is just getting started with Mortgage Coach and need help. This gives them the opportunity to learn Mortgage Coach at a time that's convenient for them, because realize, hey, I appreciate that you're coming to the workshop today, taking time out of your schedule, but not everybody's going to be able to do that. So if you send them the link here or direct them to this particular resource, they can simply click here and go through these self-paced learning tracks, step-by-step instructions. You know, this is for the very beginner. How to create a refi, how to create a purchase, how do you read a TCA, personalizing it, sending the TCA. And then depending upon where you're at with your Mortgage Coach knowledge, you can advance the next track. And after you complete all these tracks, you're going to be a Mortgage Coach user. You're gonna get it. You're gonna be able to provide your clients with presentations. You're going to have that experience in seeing the value in working with your clients and providing each of them with a Mortgage Coach total cost analysis. So, okay, let me go ahead and dive into those strategies. And since we're talking about strategies as well, I shared earlier, you know, the different webinars that are available. Is anybody subscribed to our YouTube channel? With a show of hands, I'm just kind of curious. Anybody subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Bria, okay, awesome. And Tom, okay, good. I'm glad. The reason that I mention this is that, you know, you're hearing about Mortgage Coach from somebody that works at Mortgage Coach. So of course, I'm going to be trying to get you to drink the Kool-Aid, if you will. These people do not work for Mortgage Coach. These people are top producing mortgage professionals that utilize Mortgage Coach. So you get to hear their experience in using Mortgage Coach and not have to take it from, you know, somebody that works from Mortgage Coach. And each of these calls, they share a nugget of information with you or for you that will definitely help you. So if you get a chance, you know, just kind of keep these on, listen to them, and you'll be surprised at how much information is shared. And talking about sharing information, being part of the Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind group, I mean, it's a dedicated community of mortgage professionals trying to lift each other up, share and help each other out so that everybody is being successful. It's just another resource if you weren't aware of it. Very helpful for you. Okay, let's dive into the different strategies. I'm going to start off with those two cash out refi strategies that I think will be helpful for you. So the first one here, I'm going to share with you right here. I'm going to go ahead and bring the presentation up. And the way that I'm going to utilize and share this presentation with you folks is that I'm going to share it with you as if you were a borrower. I'm going to take the link to this presentation. I'm going to drop it into the chat area. I'm going to utilize a feature called Mortgage Coach Live. And the reason that I'm doing it this way is I want you folks to be able to experience Mortgage Coach from the seat of a borrower. I think it's important for you to, you know, sit on the opposite side of the table, if you will, and sit in the seat of the borrower and look at a Mortgage Coach presentation from the eyes of your borrower so that you could see the value that you as a mortgage professional can bring to that borrower experience that you're providing your clients with. The second reason that I'm sharing this presentation with you is that, you know, you folks asked for a refinance presentation like this. If you like what you see in here, because you've clicked on the link, you now have a sample that you can utilize and duplicate within your own Mortgage Coach account and have the same type of conversations with your clients. Now, one of the things that when you use this particular way of presenting mortgage options with your clients is that you'll get confirmation that the borrower's actually clicked on the link. So if you look up here in the top right-hand corner, see where it says views for? I know that 4 of you have clicked on the link, and each time the presentation, that link is clicked on, it sends an alert notification to you as the mortgage professional, letting you know that the client has just accessed the link that you sent them. And if you go into your advice engine, you can actually keep track of how frequently the borrower's viewing the presentation. You can see I've got quite a few views on these presentations because the presentations that I share, this whole account is set up just for training purposes. So these presentations I share quite a bit. The other thing that I wanted to point out to you is I mentioned earlier, having these presentations teed up in your account ready to go. The easiest way for you to do that is to have what we call strategy templates created. So for example, having a conversation right now with you folks about this particular presentation. If it's a presentation that I could see myself utilizing with several borrowers and not wanting to recreate the entire presentation over each time that I want to share it, what you could do is create what's called a strategy template. So right here, when you see this question in the very first page of the advice engine, if you want to make a presentation, a strategy template, you just move the dial button from no to yes, make sure you advance forward. And then a couple things that you'll notice, it'll place 2 asterisks before the name of whatever the presentation is called. It'll place 2 asterisks in front of it. And then the other thing that you'll notice is that it takes that presentation and moves it over to this particular tab, the strategy template tab. And what you can do with this particular presentation now is if you click on it, you can simply copy it to a new client or edit the template. And I think what you'll find is you'll build it once and you share it with a couple people, and then you'll see that, I think I'm going to edit the presentation. I'm going to revise the version 1 of that template to have conversations or to have more conversations with my clients on this particular thing. So you can take that presentation that you've built and revise it till you get it exactly the way that you're going to have the most success in using. And then all you do is you just copy it to a new client when you have the opportunity to have that type of conversation with a borrower. So it's just a very easy way to take something that you've utilized with one borrower and share it with multiple borrowers going forward without having to recreate that same presentation from scratch over and over and over again. Big time save for you, strategy templates. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move that one back. I'm going to make it because I want to keep them all in one place just for my records. And I noticed that I put another one over there that I forgot, the cost of waiting. So I'm going to move that one back too. I would have been looking for that one. So there we go. Okay, so let me go ahead and share with you that particular presentation. Let's dive into it from the seat of a borrower. So the way that you would utilize this method of presenting loan options to your client is that you would send it to the borrower based upon the feedback that I've personally received from top producers is they typically do not send the presentation to the clients until they have the opportunity to be present with the client. So if they can walk them through step by step the different product options while they're present, having the ability to get the feedback from their borrower so that they can make sure that the borrower completely understands the product options, understands their value as the loan officer, their value proposition, and sharing the loan options with them, rather than kind of say just sending it to them, hoping that they understand it and interpret it, and don't just take that and then go shop them. So think about utilizing it that way, is try to present, if at all possible. It's not going to be possible with every single borrower. You're not going to be able to present loan options this way. Some people, they just don't have the ability to give you, a half an hour out of their day to go through a presentation like this. But if they are, this is the way that you can help yourself work faster, create more clarity for your borrower, and increase your conversion. And I think you'll see why as I walk you through the presentation here. So starting off, if you take a look at the presentation with the refinance, I'm going to clear out all the highlights. Anything that I do on my screen right now, you folks will be experiencing on your screen. So you can start off by confirming the details about their current loan. So I've just highlighted the entire column here by clicking on the product name. You can highlight row items by clicking over here, or you can dive into specific details within each of the different products that you're presenting here. So I might start off by confirming the details about the borrower's current loan here. You can see this is their current interest rate. This is their current monthly payment. Let's see if it includes taxes and insurance. It includes taxes, hazard insurance there. So I'm driving the conversation, proactively pointing out some key areas and confirming these details. And if you notice the presentation right now, it has two options. I'm probably not going to share this option initially. So what I'll do in the advice engine is I can come over here, click on presentation, and remove the color from that box so that the borrower is only going to see the products that I might want to initiate my conversation with them with. So you have the ability to bring up to 4 different product options while you're having a consultation with your client. And you can remove them after they've given you feedback. You know, yes, I like that product. No, I don't. Or you can have them up all at once, go through them at the same, you know, and then remove the ones that they've shared with you that they are no longer interested in, just so that you remove the noise of the product that, you know, they've already gone through and they've shared with you, you know, I'm not interested in that particular product. Okay, so I've confirmed the details about the borrower's current loan. Good news now, right? Good news. We can reduce your rate down to 3.25%. This is what your new monthly payment's going to be, and that'll produce a savings of $202.44. It is on a new 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So you might be looking at this and be saying, you know, that's a great looking presentation. I like the numbers, I like the graphs. But from a sales perspective, some of you might be looking at this and be going, what just occurred? Well, you put the borrower, by providing the borrower with a single option, you can see there it's labeled option 1, you've put them in a position where they can respond basically in one of two ways, right? One of two ways. Yes, that 3.25 rate sounds great. Let's get started. You'd like to hear that, right? Or no, you know what? I've been hearing so many things about rates being in the 2% range. Why am I talking to you about 3.25? That seems kind of high. You know, I like your presentation, but I think I'm gonna need to make some calls and call some other people, or they'll give you the, you know what, I need to talk to my wife about this, and then you never hear from them again, right? So rather than just giving them a single option, using Mortgage Coach, we highly recommend that you provide them with at least a couple options for them to take into consideration. So here's a secondary option. And with a click of a button, now they can see option 2. So you've got their feedback about how they feel with option 2. Well, then let's pivot. Let's talk about option 2 here. Let's take a look. You're absolutely right. We can get you a rate in the 2% range. And this is what your new monthly payment would look like. And this is the additional savings that you can get. You can see that there's about another almost $50 savings between the two product options. And that is on a new 30-year mortgage. You can see that over here graphically as well. Now over here, anybody know why I chose 34 months on this particular? And by the way, you can customize the time frame that you utilize for these different analysis areas. Any reason, anybody can see any particular reason why I chose 34 months there? And by the way, I should probably change this from net worth to 18 years. Let's change it. We know that their loan's going to be paid off in 25. Let's take a look and see. Let's go the full term of the loan. So let's come over here in the analysis area, and let's change the metric to interest paid. And let's change it to 30 years for the long-term time horizon. Okay, now when you look at the presentation, Okay, again, focusing, why did I choose 34 months? If you look at the presentation, what this is representing, what this is talking about in this particular area is, well, how much interest are you going to pay on each of the options in that particular time frame? You can see it's substantially less interest on either of the loan options that we're talking about, right? But there's closing costs that are associated with both of those options. So when you take into consideration those two items, adding them together at this particular point in time, 34 months, they go from being in the red to in the green and are now positive. So at 34 months, that's when this loan, when you take into consideration interest and closing costs, that's when this loan becomes beneficial for them. You could potentially call that what? The break-even period, right? Break-even period. And if you take a look over here, it's almost the same for option two, although they have to pay greater costs. The amount of interest that they're paying is lower, and the break-even point is almost the same for both product options. So that's a way that you can utilize this particular analysis area to share with the client that is it a benefit to you to pay the additional cost to get that really, really low interest rate based upon the time frame that you're actually going to be in the house. So that when you're bragging about that great interest rate that you got at the neighborhood barbecue to all your neighbors, are you really going to be in the home long enough to get the benefit of it, or did you just pay a bunch of costs and you're going to be out of the house before you even get the benefit of it? So this is a way that you can increase your value proposition with your borrowers by educating them and having a conversation with them about this and painting a bigger picture for them. And then of course over here, interest paid, right? If you look over here, this is going to save them. The differential between this number and this number is what is that? About $20,000 if they utilize option two. So just another way, I talked about painting pictures using a mortgage coach presentation, right? And then being able to tell the story behind what's important in that picture. Now, this is good. I mean, providing the borrower with options, but you can even take it a step further. You can even increase your value proposition in working with your clients. Let me show you a strategy that you can use when you're speaking with the client about refinancing. So let's just say that the borrower went ahead and was interested in option one for simplicity here. So they're interested in option one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here in the color and put color in the square where it's labeled same payment. I wonder if you guys know which direction I'm going with this. So when I click next, the presentation should update. You're going to see the same payment option here. I'm just going to accelerate that real quick. I'll do another preview on my side here so it shows up. Okay, what's the strategy here? What are you sharing? What information are you sharing with your client that is going to help your value proposition and help you stand out against your competition? What is the picture that you're painting here? Well, if you take a look, what's your the thought, the idea, the strategy that you're sharing with your client is that if you take that $202.44 that you're saving, you can see here's option one, $202.44 you're saving. If you take that savings and apply it towards principal reduction, you're actually not going to be resetting the clock all the way to 30 years here because you've had 25 years on your mortgage, right? You're not going to be resetting it. You're actually going to be fast forwarding it. And the only thing that you're doing is you're making the exact same payment that you're comfortable with now, but utilizing the new mortgage at the lower interest rate, making a smarter financial decision. You're using the mortgage as a financial tool to help you pay off the loan more quickly. And remember that savings that I shared earlier, that was a differential of about 29%. If you take a look now, the differential has increased, right? Now we're talking about a savings to the borrower of about $37,000 here. So again, this is a way that you can increase your value proposition in working with your clients. You can take it even one step further, depending upon your discovery interview with your client, okay? What I mean by that is, and I do see a question there from Don. I'll get to that in 1 second. What you can do with this particular strategy based upon your discovery interview with the client, let's say that you had a conversation with them, and obviously for this borrower, they would be somebody that, they hear the rates are low, they want to take advantage of the low rates, make a smarter mortgage decision, and minimize the amount of interest that they're paying over on the loan, and perhaps get the loan paid off quicker. They don't, that $202 savings is not going to be applied to maybe other items that they need freedom from. Now you have a conversation with the borrower and you find out that during your discovery interview that they want to utilize that savings to prepare to plan for a life event that's going to occur in the future. What's an example of a future life event? Maybe they have a child that they would like to put money away for a college education. Maybe they're planning for a retirement. Whatever the life event or need that they're seeing that's coming down the road, you can now use your presentation to share with them, and coming over here in the presentation, what that picture would look like. I'm going to change it to investment. And since we're having a conversation about investment, I'm going to come over to analysis and change the chart type to net worth. Investment and net worth go hand in hand, right? So we're going to paint the picture for them as to what type of return they can get by investing that money and what the outcome is going to be. And I'm not going to take it out to 30 years. Let's take it out to, let's say their life event's going to occur in 12 years. So I just made that adjustment. I'm going to click next, give the graph an opportunity to update. There we go. So in this picture, again, based upon the conversation that you had with your client, you're showing them that if they take that savings of $202.44, put it into an investment account, clicking over here where it says more info, at a rate of return of 5%, they're going to have almost $40,000 in that account by taking that savings of $202.44 on a monthly basis, put it into that account, rate of return is 5%, they're going to have almost $40,000 at that particular point in time. And you can adjust that based upon your interview with the client, okay? This is a great way also. You see the rate of return over here, 5%. How did I determine 5%? Well, that would be something that you could ask your client, right? What rate of return are you expecting? Are you working with a financial advisor? Is that where you got that figure? And then you can ask, well, would you mind if I spoke with your financial advisor and got those accurate details so I can make sure that I'm sharing accurate information with both of you about what you can expect? Now you've got an opportunity to show your value proposition, not only to the borrower, but that financial advisor, and potentially get referrals, future referrals from that financial advisor. And then of course, if they don't have a financial advisor, hopefully you have a financial advisor on your team, or will be looking towards achieving, having a team of people similar to that, like insurance agents, of course, your realtors, CPAs, financial advisors, that based upon the presentation that's being shared, you can loop them into the conversation to help you out. So there you go, 5% rate of return. There's the picture that's going to be painted to them. Okay. Kind of took a really deep dive into that presentation, but I think it makes it easier for me to transition over to doing a debt consolidation presentation, showing you how that works, and then show you those similar strategies in incorporating that with the debt consolidation. Let me get to this question here real quick. So do you still put in the prepaids for hazard 8 months each? Do you still add it on the closing costs? I always get confused when I put it. Okay, so coming over here in the advice engine, and I do want to share with you, some of the, I guess you could say, the nuts and bolts of how you build a presentation like this. So option 1 here in the closing cost section, you can add, prepaids in there if you like. You can see here, I've got hazard insurance and tax reserves. And the way that I did that is that on the very next page over here, of course, I have the reserves indicated, are the dollar amounts for each of those items here. But then what I've done over here is I've collected a certain amount for each of those reserves. So I just indicated 4 for hazard insurance and 6 for tax. And then when you come over here and you look at the closing costs details, the dollar amount that you see here represents 4 and 6 for those items. So there's how you would incorporate those. And then you could see here with a refinance, the borrower is most likely not going to want to come out of pocket for any of those costs. So what I did is I put color here, and all of those costs are added to the loan amount. So what happens when you look at my presentation, you can see that there's 0 cash out. Now, if they do want to bring in the reserves to set up the new escrow account, knowing that they're going to get a refund of any money that's currently in their existing escrow account, then you could do that as well. That's a good way if you have to keep the loan amount under a certain threshold, and they do have the ability to bring in some, cash to close to be able to complete the transaction, knowing that they're going to get a refund of any money that they have in their escrow account. Okay. Another area that I think is important for you folks to understand is, I was talking about painting the picture, right? Painting the picture, and I was doing the painting, if you will. This is kind of like your palette. This is where you have the ability to change any of the metrics like property appreciation, short-term, long-term. You saw me do that, long-term chart type. But right here, when you click on adjust reinvestment strategy, this is where you put the additional dollar amount towards either here. You could see the same payment. By putting the dollar amount here, what that does is it applies that money towards principal reduction. And you can see here how it shortened the term of the loan down to 23.83 years. This is also very good for people that are utilizing mortgage insurance in a purchase transaction, but not happy about it. They see that they're going to have to pay mortgage insurance for maybe, 5, 6, 7 years, not happy about it. Well, you can show them that by making an additional payment towards principal reduction, it accelerates the opportunity for them to get out of that mortgage insurance, exclusive of having to have the home appraised again. Of course, they can, especially in a market now, I mean, the market's just crazy. They can get out of mortgage insurance probably rather quickly. Okay, and then down here, this is where you apply the savings opportunity towards putting money into an investment account. And you can see the rate of return at 5% there, $202.44, rate of return of 5%. Time horizon's 12 years. So this is where you would utilize that feature within the advice engine to paint that picture for your client. Okay, let me go ahead and I'm going to dive in. I want to get to the debt consolidation presentation, and then I've got some purchase ones that I need to get through in about 13 minutes or so. I know I'm going fast. It's recorded, and you guys will get a copy of it, but I just want to try and share as many strategies as I possibly can with you. So some of you might not be aware of it, but we actually have a debt consolidation presentation here. And in this particular presentation, again, here's the borrower's current loan. They reach out to you, and I'll put this in the chat area too for you folks if you want a copy of this one. Sorry, I almost forgot to do that for you. There we go. It's now in the chat area for you folks if you want to click on it, follow along, and make sure you have a copy of it so that you can utilize it. Okay, so borrower's current loan, they've got a pretty darn good rate, 3.75%. This is their monthly payments. They're struggling with debt, hearing about opportunities for lower interest rates, potentially lower their monthly payments. And in this case, reducing it from 3.75 to 3.25 produces $129.16. That's probably not going to be enough to move the needle for somebody that's struggling in debt. It may be, but it might not be enough to motivate them to, reset the clock, pay the closing costs, and go back 30 years. By utilizing a debt consolidation presentation, although you can see here, this is a rate and term rate, this is a cash out rate. You can see the differential is 0.25%, and the differential here between their current rate and what you're proposing is only 0.25%. But look at the impact on their monthly cash flow. It's huge, right? So sometimes it's always not about rate, right? Having a low rate is great, but being able to put more money in your pocket and, free up that cash flow to do other things, get out from that debt over your head is more important. So if you take a look here, their cash flow has swung by just about $900 in this particular case. And where you would point this out with your client is right here. Let me click on that again so you can see it right here where it says debt consolidation. You can see it shows how what their debt profile looks like. So if you scroll over this, it shows 90% mortgage, almost 7% credit cards, and 3% towards automobile. This is what their current loan situation looks like. This is what their loan situation looks like by doing the debt consolidation presentation. This is what the strategy is producing. And then you could do both a short and long-term analysis. And you can itemize. You can see in this case, we're paying off a Visa, Discover, MasterCard, as well as an automobile with Nissan. That's how we're increasing their cash flow by over $1,000 a month. So this is good, right? It's creating that cash flow, helping them out. But remember that you always want to take it up, increase your value proposition. So when you're speaking to that client and you ask them, okay, well, what is your plan to get out of debt? How long is it going to take you to execute that plan and be out of debt? So what I've done with this particular product option, let me clear out all the highlights. I call it an 18-month plan. And the reason that I call it an 18-month plan is what the borrower is going to do is they're going to take that savings of $1,000, $1,024.60, maintain the same payment that they're currently making right now, but just for that period of about 17 months. You can see at the 18th month, they no longer have to make that. Now, why would they do that? Okay, well, first off, you've put together a plan that illustrates to them the picture that you painted for them is that if they can maintain that payment for 17 months, what is the benefit to them? Well, if you take a look, here's the amount of time that they have on their current loan. By applying that savings just for a period of 17 months, it will put them right back on track to having their loan paid off, their mortgage paid off in exactly the same amount of time that they have left on their existing loan. So that could be a strategy that you could share with them for people that maybe don't have a plan, would like to see the picture as to how you can help them remove those other items and still be on the same pace to pay off their existing loan and be debt-free on their mortgage. And then, of course, you could take and apply that money towards paying it down, I mean, forever and ever, or just a portion of it. Remember, you don't have to put the full 1,024. Maybe they can budget $500 of the savings and then see the impact that it's going to have on the loan. In fact, we can even do that right now. So rather than taking and putting the full $1,000, let's say that they can afford to do $500 towards the mortgage. Well, what is that going to do for them? Well, now it takes their loan, you probably saw it, it's not 27.5 years. They would have a 20-year mortgage and they're still going to be able to pocket $500. So they could be debt-free on the mortgage and get a 20-year loan and still be able to pocket $500. So this is a way that you could share with them. And then if you wanted to utilize that other strategy, you can see I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put that at 1,024.60. And then on month 18, they're no longer going to have to do that. So I'm just going to stop that. There we go. And then now we're right back to where we were before. So in 27.5 years, which matches about the time horizon that they have, they're done. The other option over here is, you probably know which direction I'm going, right? Always increasing your value proposition, taking that money, putting it into an investment account, 5% rate of return in a period of 12 years, they're going to have over $200,000. Now, if you show somebody that particular picture, somebody that is struggling with paying their bills or not comfortable with having to pay those bills and in debt, by the tune of what, $40,000, and then flipping the picture completely around and showing them how they can achieve having $200,000 in an investment account and increase their net worth. I mean, that's a completely different picture that, I mean, it's to me, I mean, it would blow my mind if you showed me how I could go from being negative 40 to positive $200,000 in a period of 12 years. I mean, that's just a picture that would, I mean, it would wow me if you were presenting that option to me. So just another way that you could increase your value proposition. And again, it's your discovery interview, understanding the needs of your clients, and then painting the picture for them, the appropriate picture. Okay, have a couple more strategies. I needed to cover, I think it was cost of waiting and rent versus own here for you. So let me go into the cost of waiting. And I'll put the link here into the presentation for you. There we go. Tom, we're gonna be posting this on the YouTube channel, I believe. I'm gonna post on the YouTube channel so that way you'll be able to get a copy of it. So thanks for asking. Okay, all right, cost of waiting presentation here. So again, that link's in the chat area for you folks. I'm gonna go ahead and clear these out. So right now you're working with clients, and because of the market conditions, they're submitting offers and getting rejected. We had a team member on the mortgage coach team just bought a house recently. It took her 7th offer, I believe, before she got an accepted offer. So we're very excited for her that she's going to be able to get that home, but it was a process, and it could be a very emotional process in purchasing a home, right? You're having conversation with the borrowers and they're getting frustrated. They get to the point that, you know, they almost feel like throwing their hands up in the air and saying, you know what, I'll think about maybe revisiting this 6 months from now when maybe there's a price drop, home prices are dropped. I've been hearing things on the news about this is a bubble and prices might drop. So this is a way that you can help that client visualize. Again, there's a picture that you're painting, and this is what the story or the verbiage that you're using to describe the picture. In this case, are you saying that this is absolutely going to happen? No. You're saying that this is what may happen, and this is why you may want to continue the process now. Because if you take a look, this is the opportunity that the client has at this point in time. Buy now. They could buy a home, $400,000, put 10% down. Interest rate would be 3.25%. Here's their cash to close, and then this is their monthly payment. This is the opportunity that they have to take advantage of right now. Now, let's say if in fact there is a bit of a price drop, they're able to maybe get a similar home, same amenities, 6 months from now, and it is in fact $20,000 cheaper. But what happens during that time if rates were to increase a 0.5 point? So going from 3.25% to 3.75%. What's the impact on the borrower's monthly payment? That's a big impact, right? $3.71. So is it worth it for them to pass on this home, pass on what they have the opportunity to do at this point in time to save $3.71, providing that that is in fact what occurs, that they're able to get a price drop and potentially rates increase? Let's look at another scenario that could potentially happen. There's also data out there that prices are going to continue to increase. So there's conflicting data out there that prices are going to increase for the next couple of years and then may plateau at that particular point in time. So that home that they're looking for now at $400,000 in the next couple of years may actually end up costing them $20,000 more. If they're lucky enough to have rates remain constant, which you know the likelihood of that, right? rates remaining constant, 3.25%, well, you can see here that's actually going to cost them more if in fact that home increases, even though that the rate remains the same. Their monthly payment's going to increase by $100. Now, the goal of this, again, is to help them see a picture and look at it from a numerical, a logical, not necessarily an emotional decision. And this is the worst case. What happens if both the price and rates were to increase? Well, now you're talking about a swing of an extra $200 towards the monthly payment. And for some folks, you know, they may be on the cusp of an approved eligible cert, and a swing one way or the other as far as an increase in cost or increase in rate, they're going to have to settle for something less, maybe a different type of home, maybe not the same number of bedrooms or bathrooms, or maybe an older home or a home in a different area to be able to still be able to afford at that point. So we covered cost of waiting, cash out refi, debt consolidation, move up. Apologize, we took a kind of a really deep dive in those refinance ones today. But we do this, the content of these Wednesday Black Belt workshops changes based upon the type of presentations that you wanted in the poll. So you're welcome to come back, you know, put your vote in for a different strategy. Happy to do a different strategy and share that with you. I hope you got value out of this. And just before we wrap up here, I'd like to launch one more poll here. And before you go, if you could do me a favor, let me launch another poll here real quick. And if you could just take a quick second, we're always looking for feedback and looking to improve it. So if you feel like there's something that we might have missed the mark on, or if you feel like it was, you know, good, please share your feedback before you leave. Really appreciate it. And like I said, these workshops change based upon the different strategies that you folks would like to see. So I hope you got value out of it, and good luck in using Mortgage Coach. Take care.